a lot of like the flat Earth epistemology is based on misconceptions around the globe model, and I realized this upon further investigation. Because but when you take time to really investigate the globe model, you'll discover that there aren't any specific problems in particular. All of this stems from a misunderstanding of how the globe model works. So that is your sort of when you come into this topic with a misunderstanding of the globe model, and that is your sort of your go-to approach with dealing with this, it's going to be problematic for you. I think that the best way to approach this would rather be to present flat Earth evidence, because that's what we need right now. We don't have that. We do have it, but we don't have like the same volume of evidence as the globe model does. And it would help if we did have it, because in order for us to be taken seriously, we need to have a body of evidence to support our epistemology. And at the moment, we have conflicting evidence, which isn't a bad thing. We're just at the grassroots beginning stages of this theory, but it would really help if we could sort of start getting into that now, because we spent a really long time discussing the same topics over and over again, going over misunderstandings with the globe and specific subjects surrounding that. I feel like it's time now to start presenting flat Earth evidence. And just to touch on something else that I brought up to do with misconceptions, I feel like the globe earthers do the same thing. A lot of their debunks and evidence, we need to have our evidence peer reviewed so that we can be taken seriously, so that we can have a body of we can have an epistemology of knowledge that we can work with, because we don't have that right now.
But peer reviewed by who, Babs?
Peer reviewed by the experts that we speak with every single day.
The globe experts?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
The regular people that we talk to every single day. Bearing in mind that, yes, they're not on our side. Yes, they don't agree with us. But this isn't an establishment that we're dealing with. And I have had several discussions with these people in the past. They have agreed with a lot of my my theories and my ideas. And I just feel like that it's a lot simpler to go with the grain than against it. Because if we actually rely on real science and use that as evidence, we can still make a strong argument for our case. I've been able to do that myself in terms of like refraction and how it actually works. I've been able to come up with hypothesis to explain how refraction would work on flat Earth using real science.
Real science. What is real science, Babs? Why do you keep putting that in my mouth? Real science. I said experimental evidence is king. That's what I base my epistemology on, is experimental evidence. Now we do throw around a lot of evidence and data and talk about a lot of different things, but go ahead, Babs. Sorry about that.
Babs will be a glober. Babs will be a glober within 2 months, and he'll be getting paid on his channel, and they'll all have him. Because Babs ain't stupid, man. And that was only a little piece of what I got to say about you defending the globe model. And the only reason I'm saying you're a glober is because you're defending the model and saying there's no holes in it. When man, I can do about a 30-minute show myself on all the holes. Now, if you listen to their bullshit and their doublespeak, and then you could say, yeah, there's no holes in the globe model. But that's just ridiculousness, man. When I don't even know where to start.
One at a time. But, go ahead, Brian. Finish your thought.
I'll say, like, if you want to do tests and all that, you say, how about the one last month, the 13.5-mile laser test? I mean, it's by their math, it's supposed to be a shitload of drop, or by the other half of them, you say that they all agree they're all congruent and all that, but half of them say they're supposed to be dropped. The other half say there's supposed to be a hump in the middle, okay? And there was nothing, okay? So one half of them were wrong. The other half of them were wrong. But just on the outside in this, I'll say, yeah, they admit that their model is 95, that they're 95% stupid. One of their best astrophysicists, or their loudest, say that they don't understand shit. They're 95% stupid.
Yeah, Babs, I kind of gotta agree with them a little bit. I mean, they hold their model together with what dark matter and dark energy as some ungodly percentage of, you know, the universe or all of creation. Right. You got to swallow a lot of presuppositions and assumptions just to accept that the globe model, you know, quote unquote, all works together. Yeah, it all sounds plausible. And yeah, they have evidence for most of it. They didn't just make it up, but a lot of it's open to interpretation and is chock full of assumptions. That's what I find every single time I dig into almost any aspect of the globe.
As far as the dark matter, though, like all you have to do is start with very simply. They cannot show a ball spinning, hanging on nothing with water attached to it anywhere in the world. They cannot show that, which means their model doesn't work automatically. End of story. Until they can show that, the model does not work.
Well, I guess is what I'm saying.
I didn't mean to bash them. I wasn't bashing them personally.
Yeah.
Let me say something.
My prediction is he'll be a Glober in a couple months.
Yeah. What sense of community? I mean, if you just want to...
Let me fix it. We're trying to break the dogma and open up doors to other possibilities, you know? No, we're not saying we have all the facts, because we're trying to say that nobody's got all the facts. None of us are God, you know. You can't use...
Brian, hang on, Brian.
If you don't have any evidence or facts to support your belief, what is the point of believing in it? Yeah. You can't have negative evidence towards the opposing views and call that positive evidence towards your belief system. That's not how it works. You actually have to have
That's called falsification, isn't it, Babs?
I've had to say, I mean, dude, you'll be a Glober in a couple months, man. Yeah. And you could believe all the explanations they tell you, or you could stay with the growing community of science progressing. Okay, this is how science progresses. Science doesn't progress by
so why is this
accepting everything.
Guys,
one quick, Bob. Okay, well, go ask all these experts, okay, where space starts and Earth begins. When does the Coriolis effect that we argue about, okay, that they have no holes in, where does it stop spinning? When do I stop spinning? At what distance, okay? Because they're using these maths, okay? These same scientists and physicists are using these maths to eject these satellites and get them in orbit. So they must know where the Coriolis stops, okay? When do I leave the non-inertial reference frame, okay? By the fact that none of them, not just in this argument, Dr. Becky, any of these people, Neil deGrasse, Brian Cox, none of them can tell us when we leave the non-inertial reference frames. So how do they have the math, dude? It's us asking questions like this, okay? If we could prove the Earth is flat, that's fine. We could do all these laser experiments. That's one thing, man. Okay, but we can't prove it. All we could do is show common sense. But from there, what we can do is shit on their model because there's so many holes in it because their explanations are crap. But so if you think that they're so smart, go ask them, where does the non-inertial reference frame stop? Because they would have us think that we can circle the Earth and free fall around it and be weightless, okay? Then we can slingshot toward the moon and still be weightless, okay? But if free falling around the Earth is what's making us weightless, then when we straighten out and take that straight trajectory toward the moon, then we would be back in gravity, okay? And the only way we wouldn't be back in gravity if we were free falling toward the moon or toward Earth, okay? And they try and say, I've got multiple explanations on this, and they're all laughable, okay? So go ask your experts.
Okay, so if you're so smart and if you know more than rocket scientists do, why don't you tell me what the mathematical equations are to launch a satellite into space? Why don't you tell me that? Since you're claiming that you know more and you're able to see things that are wrong with the current model.
No, I started with common sense. I told you he's a Glober. I started with common sense, bro.
Hold on, Jimbo.
Common sense, okay?
You're claiming
Hold on.
Can you apply to college with common sense? Can you get into Harvard with common sense? Can you put common sense on your resume right now and
Can
get
you invent something with common sense?
You need to change the batteries in your goddamn hearing aid. I didn't say
you're triggered, bro. You're triggered because I'm jumping on your scientists, bro. You're triggered because I'm jumping on your scientists in your special position.
You're